Yo. All right. We are here, episode 4. Episode 4? Yes, episode 4. Mr. Ryan Bamford from Northern Ireland.
Good evening, Mr. How are you, sir?
I like your background. See, that's a true Misfit maniac. He's got Delray Misfit episodes playing in the background.
Delhi Misfits in the background. Delhi Misfits on the hoodie top.
Yeah, there you go.
And who's this?
I can't see it. You gotta like sit up a little more. It's like, oh, there you go. That's a.
You seen that one?
Look, this is one too. There you go. New Universal Order. New Universal Order. There you go.
Nice. Had to be done.
Anybody doesn't know, anybody who's not watching doesn't know Ryan. He has a great channel on Instagram. My morning doesn't start until I hear this morning. Good morning this morning from Ryan Bamford.
Good morning this morning. Good morning this morning.
And he, to me, it's like I don't have a jealous bone in my body, and I'm saying that now, and I've said it to many people before. But watching Ryan walk out and seeing the fields and the mountains, and he's got the wind turbines in the back, and he's got sheep, and it's like I've said this to you too, Ryan. I would trade fucking in an instant. You probably want some Florida life. I want some Northern Ireland life. So like at some
I
point,
want some sunshine. We need some sunshine, please. It's cold out there, mate. You're going out there in the morning and you're like, oh shit.
What's the temperature like now?
Actually, unseasonably warm. It's what's 3 degrees Celsius? 13 degrees, 14 degrees.
Fahrenheit?
No, Celsius.
Oh, Celsius. Okay, gotcha. Now, how close are you? Like, what's your nearest major city? Is it Belfast?
Yeah.
Right on.
Belfast is the only major city in Northern Ireland, really major. And it's not Northern Ireland has 1 million people, 1.5 million, I think it was. 1.5 million, 1.7. So it's in a big country. So Belfast is where the hub is, and there's a couple of other. There's Derry, there's Colerane's pretty close, but you'd cast them as villages.
Yeah.
Tiny towns.
Like I know Belfast from my history, if I remember this correctly, was like the most bombed city during World War II from the Germans. Like whatever. I know I love 20th century history, and I remember every time I hear Belfast, I remember that something you can Google, but I think Belfast was the most bombed UK city in the UK.
I think you're getting a little confused. There's like a couple of facts about Belfast that I don't know whether it was bombed the most during World War II. Obviously, there was the big harbour and the docks and the boat yards.
Yeah.
Where else would an unsinkable ship, the Titanic, be built?
Yeah.
But Ireland, the unsinkable ship that sank. Yeah. So the dock yards and the boat yards would have been bombed or whatever. But I think one of the most common stories and people hear about when they come to Northern Ireland or whatever is that the hotel is the most bombed hotel.
Really?
Yeah, just with all the different terrorist attacks and stuff down the years. Because, you think terrorist attacks, you think people with sand in the shoes. But whenever we think terrorist attacks, it's literally could be somebody down the road. We don't know who's doing it or whatever.
Yeah.
So
does Northern? Do you guys see in your part of Ireland like a huge import of like migrants or any of those issues going on?
Yes and no, but yes and no. Right, how do I say this? There's migrants coming in, and there's always been migrants coming in. But the Irish have always assimilated the migrants because the Irish have always outbred anybody that comes in.
Right.
That's why the Irish were never conquered by the English, because the English would come in, and no matter what they did, the Irish did their own thing, and there was just more of them and more of them, and unlucky. So there's different types of migrants because we're in a strange situation here where we're 1 foot in Brexit and 1 foot out of Brexit. So we're in the UK, so we're out of Brexit, but Northern Ireland is still within the actual boundary landmass of Ireland, even though there's 2 countries in there.
Right, yeah.
They're still part of Europe and the Schengen Treaty, so they've got free movement of all peoples within Europe. So we do have people that came before Brexit. You know, we've got quite a few Polish and stuff up here. All beautiful people, all being welcomed in, everybody's happy, all good. Now, there's, unfortunately, what I'm talking about here is the movement legally.
Right, exactly.
I think your question was talking maybe about illegal migration.
Correct. Maybe I should have worded it differently. Yeah.
Now, the illegal migration, I haven't seen a lot of up here.
Right.
But, like, you know, how much are they seeing up near the Canadian border of people from Mexico or whatever the issues that we about over here on all the various podcasts and things. They haven't like migrated up here because there isn't the infrastructure. Like where I live, it's still a bit sparse.
Yeah, correct.
But you know, 30, 40 minutes and you're in the city. You know, international airport is 40 minutes away.
Yeah, like when you do your morning videos, there's not like a soul in sight, which I love. Like that's when I retire, that's the kind of life I want, is to be far, far away in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's all good until you get snowed in and can't get out and you need something and the phone line.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like how do you like, since I'm in IT, like what do you, for internet, do you guys use some kind of satellite internet? Like what's that look like?
Well, right now as we speak, to get this all powered up, Mum is outside on a treadmill pumping away as best she
You have to spend
when you
4 hours on the bike to get the electricity down.
Outside. We've got fibre optics outside, we're cool. Yeah, it's all good. Northern Ireland's got good infrastructure like that, and they've put a lot of work and money into that sort of thing. No, it's very deceptive. Literally, there's neighbours there. Where the house is, it's in a bit of a little dip in a hollow. So you see backfield, and then the farmer's just over another field that way. So two fields, and there's a little village, 5 minutes walk down there.
Now you said like you have to travel. What is it? 30 minutes to get to? Is that like grocery and stuff like that, or is it you got stuff that's closer that you can go to, like a market?
Oh no. There's a little tiny post office shop that you can get bread and stuff, and it's got like a little freezer section. But you're not going to go and find anything too great in there. It's a lot of processed food, and if you wanted to go and get some fresh meat or something down to the local butcher's, that's 8 and 10 miles away. One thing that's good that if you are prone or addicted to fast food or late nights just picking up the phone when the munchies are calling and ordering, ain't nobody delivering around here. So that's how you suffer. What's in is in. So
that's good to know. Like a lot of people don't know that and I said this in the announcement video I made for this, but when it was going back like I think a year, maybe even more. But I put up a poll, said, "Listen, I want to do something like this, yada yada yada," and what should I call it? And you were the one that said Chats with Churchill, and I was like, it stuck with me. So you get all the props and the kudos for giving the name to this entire series. But besides that, I actually wanted you to how did you become a maniac? How did you find the Misfits? Like, give your brief history of all of that. How you fell into that.
I was born a maniac.
There you go. See, that's a good answer. That would make Lenny happy right now.
No, we talked about doing a podcast like this nearly 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Whenever we were doing, Lenny was doing his little things and saying that he always wanted somebody to take over.
Yeah.
Carry on, and I think now's the time for you to step up and do that. Yeah. Now it's not. I've listened to the last three. With the first one obviously had to be what it was, and then the second one, never heard of her. Had to get it in there. Sorry, Stu. And so we've been talking about doing something like this, but I don't think it's going to continue as a Misfit memorial channel.
Yeah.
For long. So I think once you decided that the moniker of the Winston Churchill that Lenny had dubbed you way back in the day, he knighted you, and once you're knighted by that man, it doesn't come off. You cannot shake a neck. So
I wear it proudly, though.
Well, I'm sure you've seen my troll accounts, but Lenny could never pronounce my name, could he? Ryan Bamford.
Well, it's like when he said "Big Bad Wolf."
Yeah, Big Bad Wolf. It was always a wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brad. No. So, yeah. How did I become a Misfit? Yeah, so once you become the modern day Winston Churchill, it had to be Chats with Churchill. It just stuck and rhymed, didn't it? Yeah. You couldn't have been like Misfit Memories or, because it's not going to last as that. So it's just going to be a hangout for us to, hook up and chat about what we used to think, what we do think, and what the Misfits gave was a place and a hangout to a lot of people that have been disenfranchised in some sort of way. And a lot of it, dare I say it, by the creeping, because it was creeping back then, of the wokeness, until the fully fledged woke beauty that, literally got its head chopped off 2 days ago by the almighty Don. And so you needed a place where you could just listen to a bit of locker talk, a bit of bro science, you switch your brain off, and going back to those days of listen to me, how old am I? Going back to the early days of YouTube.
Yeah.
Back in the day, bro.
2008, bro. First YouTuber celery, bro.
2008, bro. First YouTube. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the one thing I constantly ever hear is the fact that it gave them, having the Misfits out there during that time was just, like you just said, it was a place where you could hear some locker room talk, you talk some shit, you could hear some, and to me it was just a great, like look at the one playing behind you is the Golden Corral. I actually know where that Golden Corral is at. There's so many, I take so many aspects of what I call capturing lightning in a bottle, and that's what it was. It was lightning in a bottle. Perfect time to do it. The world hadn't gone to shit or crazy when it came to trying to censor a lot of this. And unfortunately, I don't think it'll ever happen again, but it's good that it's out there,
Adam, how many people have tried to recreate it?
Yeah.
Every other fitness channel and fitness YouTube celebrity or influencer has been trying to create that gym fun, bro.
No, it just doesn't work.
They couldn't do it.
You know,
For a
like I
start,
said in the first episode to Andrew, and I've said it. Huh?
the Big Richard.
Yeah.
Nobody. There's none of them anymore.
Yeah, no, there's not. Like you again, it's lightning in a bottle when you have so many intricate characters that bring so many individual parts to a bigger, larger picture. And like I told Andrew in the first episode, and I told him off camera, you do not get enough credit for putting this all together. And you know, he even said if he wasn't walking around with the camera in the like, none of this would have been out there. Imagine that, like if he never started any of this, no, how many people you've met through this universe do I've met through this universe, and that none of it, you know?
You know, it's yeah. And I think, correct me again if I'm wrong, I'm maybe speaking out of turn, but wasn't the Prince going through a bit of hard times mentally and whatever else, and that's why he was in the gym at the time?
I think so. I mean, I don't want to speak for Andrew, but I think he had some stuff going on. I'm not 100% certain, but I think it brought him some kind of like
relationship with others.
Say again?
Maybe I don't. But relationships, wasn't that when he moved? Was that when he moved down there?
No, Andrew I think was down here maybe I think in '07 or maybe even earlier than that. No, I think he was here before '07. I think he left after like 9/11.
It seemed like everybody that was in there that had come in had been also looking for a group of people.
Right.
You know, they were all looking for friends and like something to belong to at the time.
Yeah.
You know, including.
Yeah, like you
know, like
you go into those scenarios.
Brad was a little bit lost, I think, at the start, and he walked in and then became more of it. And Lenny then went, "What's going on over there? I'll come in and see some of that."
Well, shit! Imagine if you're like in that old gym. If you're like doing cardio in the back and you see all this videotaping going on and screaming, yelling, and Dale and all this, like
you got to get in there somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, no, too much fun.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, you show me a gym where you're allowed to do that isn't like a private gym these days. You know, I put up a video last Friday whenever Pomp sent, it was over the weekend anyway, when Pomp sent through a t-shirt for me.
Right.
Put it on and filmed the wall, because every wall in the gym says no recording devices are to be used in our gym.
Right.
Because there's too many arguments now with people putting down the tripods and people getting in each other's shot and...
What's the law there in Ireland, in Northern Ireland, for like anybody in the background being filmed? Is it like freedom of like filming, like not in a business setting, but like say outside, or is it just free reign?
Yeah, it's the same. You've no
like, could I sue you if I was in the background of your?
You have no, insert the word of privacy in a public place.
Right.
What's that word I'm missing that makes it illegal? But you have no expectation of privacy in a public place. So the only place you can't film somebody is in their own home, basically, unless you're filming them.
Unless you get a waiver too, if you have them sign off on a waiver, which nobody's going to do.
Yeah. Unless you sign, you're going to use it for like...
Well, see, the difference is here, like, it's out of control here. So here, all the gyms here is like these kids' personal Pixar, you know, studio where they multiple, like Redcon 1, great gym, the worst. Like, because Redcon 1 not only allowed it, but they you know, not persuaded. They what's the word I'm looking for? They encouraged it, correct? So they encouraged it. So you had, and I used to joke around with Crystal Tool and others that are known throughout the universe and some that are not. That like some of these chicks would come in there with the little cart, right? You see them walking through the gym with a cart, and it's not full of their gym gear. They've got lighting, they've got power strips, they've got cables, and they start plugging stuff in, running cables, not taping anything down. And I said to like Chris O'Toole one time, I looked at him, I said, how is this is not something that's going to incur like an insurance like problem for the gym? So God forbid I'm walking, I trip over a wire, I bang my head on a weight, you know?
God forbid.
Yeah, you know, so it's like they encouraged it and they allowed it, and because these influencers boosted the online presence of Redcon One, which I understand, but it became so obnoxious to like you had these influencers that would take up an entire area for lighting, and they put the bench, they put Redcon One product down, they sit down, they lean over, they take their shot, they got to do it about 10 times. I'm like, is this a gym or a fucking Universal Studios lot?
Well, in Ballycastle, which is the nearest town where I go down to the gym, I use the council gym, and it's no filming in there, and it is, it's a council run gym,
Right.
so everybody's welcome, but it tends to be a lot of retirees. People who like to walk indoors rather than outdoors.
Yes. Yeah.
So there's no filming in that gym.
Wow.
The other gym at the top of the town, Limitless, run by Aiden, it's a bodybuilding gym. He's a bodybuilder. Yeah. Everybody in there films. And it's encouraged.
Yeah, like you could put like your phone in certain areas and film. Like I used to do it at Redcon One, but I would put my phone down on somewhere out of somebody's way. These people have no respect for anybody else's like space or like machines or anything like that. Even there's a gym franchise called EOS. I think it's based just for the United States, but EOS they have separated siloed rooms just for filming and working out. You want to do that, that's fine. Yeah. But like most people when they sign up for a gym, they don't want to be in the background of a fucking video, and it's just a weird thing to like see go on. And then now you have people that get severely triggered when you walk in front of their camera. And it's like I don't know.
And there's now channels making money off people who are getting outraged by people and their bad behavior, but all it comes down to is rudeness and bad behavior.
Yeah, I think like there's a whole book of etiquette and morals of like manners that a lot of people grew up without, and it's a lot of it is this younger generation that were never taught any of this. The parents weren't there to set them straight and just let them, not even in the gym, you see it everywhere, right? Like Lenny said in the new Universal Order podcast, shut the fuck up, Mom, give me my fucking Sprite. You see a lot of that.
They've grown up online, and there's no consequences online.
Zero. Even
to death, there is no consequences online. You either respawn or you become stronger, like Lenny did.
he's in heaven now, like.
You better believe it.
Yeah, no, like, I see a lot of that.
£800 rip.
Say that again?
You'll be £800 ripped up there, if not touching the 1,000.
Yeah.
You'll be eating spank steak every meal.
His little corner of heaven will look like his old apartment.
And I know how Brad felt, and I know how others felt, banging their head against the wall with Lenny and food and his health, and taking responsibility and doing something about it. And it was you wouldn't say it was a lost cause, because Lenny had his own mission that he was on.
Yeah. No, it was very challenging. The one of the last times I was down in South Florida, and he was in Northwest Medical, which is kind of a little bit south of Boca, and I knew he was there, and I knew Mike T was there, and I stopped by, and he was in bad shape. Like, he had a good attitude, but he always would go back to, I think I'm just retaining too much water. And I'm like, doctors, even though he, lived his lifestyle, not living, listening to doctors, the doctors are like, you've got this issue going on and that issue, but he just didn't, just like
diabetes.
Yeah, diabetes.
He would not say the word.
Yeah,
he wouldn't say the word.
And it was kind of like, you just look at his legs and I'm like, Lenny, you're gonna fucking lose these legs, man.
And that's how you and I bonded.
Yes.
The fact that both of us at one stage couldn't walk.
Right. Yeah. Do you want to go through? You want to talk about everybody's heard my story. Do you want to put it out there? Like what happened to you?
Nobody's heard your story.
Yeah, a lot of people have heard my story. They don't want to hear it.
Nobody's heard your story. This is episode 4, and nobody knows who the modern day Winston Churchill is. Nobody even knows. I think I mentioned your name earlier. I said Adam.
Oh yeah.
Does anybody know you as Adam?
Well, I mean, the people like the Maniacs, they know my real name, and but like
the Spanish River champion,
the Spanish River Park champion.
Pick your side.
Yeah, like majority of people on Instagram don't know my real name. They don't even know why I'm called modern day Winston Churchill. They're there for the memes, which is fine. That's like, come here for the laughs. That's if I've made your day better by watching a 10-second meme, kudos. But for me, like, I've told in the past, my legs were crushed when I was 12. If anybody wants more details, I can give them more details, but it's really that. I almost lost my right leg. Main artery was cut. When the accident did happen, I was dead for like close to a minute. And what they do is, this is a story I probably told in the past, I'll tell it again real quick. So I don't know if they even still do this or not, but when you have an individual that's been in a car accident or has been in an injury that's out and ambulance comes and you're bleeding out from an artery that's, you're obviously bleeding out, they put this suit on you. It's like the Michelin Man, right? So they put this suit on you, the compression. So they inflate it and it stops the bleeding. The only problem with that is when they take you to the hospital, which they took me to Jamaica Hospital in Queens, when they deflate it, you flatline. You have a strong chance of just flatlining. That's exactly what happened. So I remember everything up until we got to the OR, to the hospital. Next thing I know, I wake up in ICU. Don't remember anything in between. I was intubated, ICU for 30 days, then down to pediatrics. And this was during Thanksgiving, so I spent Thanksgiving through my birthday in February, in Jamaica Hospital. And back then, no internet, no access to TVs, so they wheeled in a clock radio.
Back then, even the nurses were ugly.
Big time. No mamacitas, especially in New York, walking around. If it was now and I was in these hospitals, oh my God. Adam, it's time for your sponge bath. Oh, let's go. Like,
yes, please.
Clean me. But like back then, like you had conversations with the staff. You listened to a clock radio, and I kid you not, and I tell this to everybody, they had a drop ceiling in ICU and pediatrics. I counted the holes on the ceiling. So like I had a square. I'm like, there's 585 there, and I would write down the number. In the next box, I would count them. Only way. It's like literally being in prison.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And at that time, my parents, they were going through a horrible divorce. So my mom, she didn't have a car, so she literally would walk from our house to Jamaica Hospital, and it was 10, 15 miles each way. She would walk. And I found this out later on that like even she would leave when visiting hours were done. She would walk back home, 11 o'clock at night, middle of winter, walking home. Yeah, so that's. I mean, if anybody wants pictures, videos, DM me, and I'll send you some toxic.
How many surgeries?
Huh?
How many surgeries?
The last one was number 14, so they had to take all the metal out. That was number 14. There you go. Look at that. Whoa! Look at that freak.
18. The
18.
boys 4.
You got 4 more on me. Now I gotta go out and get injured more so I can get that number up.
No, you don't. No, you don't. We're done.
But yours
That's
is
it.
yours is
No more.
was a an artery, right? That's what yours was about?
Yeah, yeah, aorta got crushed. Aorta?
You're right.
Yeah, but the big one.
You're right,
The big
aorta.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got crushed, so there was no blood flowing to my legs. So if I used, as soon as I started walking, it would like be the cramp would start to kick in, be like filling up with sand,
Mm.
and then it got worse from there. After a while, it'd be like the the end of the foot was the foot was just a lump of meat on my leg. I couldn't even put it. Spent spent good 6 months just being transferred from a bed and onto another bed in the front room and just watching daytime TV, just lying there.
When did this happen?
Just
What age were you?
33,
Okay.
33. But so I got the first operation, and it was the first operation to fix it. Because what had happened, right, let me start again. I had an accident with a cement mixer, and my guts sort of exploded.
Oof.
So to get my guts out, I pushed them back in, and then we had to go and get patched. Yeah, so I got patched, and they put a nice patch in, but they put it in super tight, and they started to crush and block the artery. So over time, the artery was getting more and more constricted, and I was losing blood flow to the legs. So once it finally got diagnosed, then I had to have a triple bypass, and that went well. Recovered from that, doing back in the gym, back lifting, doing a spin class, and didn't feel too well. Went home, fell asleep for 8 hours, woke up in a fever, rushed into the hospital. I had sepsis. The bypass had become infected.
Oh man.
I think it had been contaminated when they put it in, and just slowly became infected. Now the thing with sepsis, it can attack any part of the body, but because it was a foreign body within my body, it attacked that. So it was sort of lucky that it didn't go for like my brain or my liver or spinal cord or something, and it went for the thing that was already bust. So I had to have what do they call them? A PICC line in, and I had to have intravenous IVs 3 times a day for an hour, straight into my heart for months. I can't even remember how long it was. Sitting in this room, just sitting over there, just on a drip. And fast forward to a little bit longer, recovery from sepsis, and they cleaned the blood, and they had to put the bypass in again because they had to take the dirty bypass out and put a clean one in. So we're on 2 triple bypasses now, and then we go and get our COVID jab, and 2 weeks later, Ryan has an aneurysm, and the artery in his leg blows and swells up. So we had to go and get that. So.
And that was when you lost your dad too, right?
Yeah.
So you went in because of that, and then your dad, unbeknownst to you, went in because he had caught COVID.
Yeah. So I was due to go in on the Monday, and I phoned my dad on the Friday, didn't get an answer. I thought, oh well, maybe he's just out. My dad was going deaf, so if he was out in the garage or whatever, he wouldn't have heard the phone or whatever. So I didn't think too much of it, just let it go. Went to hospital the next day, and it's COVID restrictions, so there's no there's no, you're in a room on your own, there's no nurses, the doctors all come in, they all come in one go, and that's you for the rest of the day. You just wheel down to the next place, and in you go. Everybody's masked up, no visitors. So, literally talking to most people by text message because of, whatever. And I knew it was odd that I didn't, but you're in there, I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with an aneurysm, possibly losing a leg. You're on all sorts of fentanyl and other stuff that makes you not realize what's going on, and you're dealing with your own sort of personal thing anyway. So then, it was the night I was going to come out, and then Mum phoned me and said, "Oh, your dad was taken in on the Monday that you went in, and the last thing he heard was you came out of surgery, and then he passed." But I do have to say that it was COVID that took him in. He did have leukemia anyway.
Right. So his immune system was weakened.
Yeah, he had been really, really good at quarantining. But his mate came around just to drop something off, and he opened the door. Mm. And that was it. That's how he caught COVID.
Oh, wow.
His mate door, didn't even come into the house. That was it. That was the only contact he had. So
yeah, it's such a weird time too. Like during and everybody knows this, COVID was such a bizarre time, like the restrictions and all of that. And I remember talking to you about yours when I lost mine, and I think we have.
Well, that's what I was just about to say. That was a very similar story, wasn't it?
Yeah. So my dad was living in Corona, Queens, which I found hysterical, but he got sick and he went in, and he did not want to be intubated. It was like the coup de grace, and he knew it, and they just said, you're not getting enough oxygen and so forth and so on. And there's a whole other, I could talk about this for a long time, because fast forward years after COVID and everything is, we found out everything what went on during COVID. My dad went in with COVID, but COVID didn't kill my dad. The hospital killed my dad. 100%. I don't care what anybody says. The hospital killed my dad, because I pulled 1,000 pages, 10 cents a page. I pulled 1,000 pages from the hospital during his stay, and I went through everything. And I didn't understand a lot of this, so I had to do my own research, write down things, medication. My dad had high cholesterol, and they were giving him not only fentanyl every couple hours, which I found bizarre. The doctors were signing off due to global pandemic, family not present, okay. So none of us were getting calls. They were just signing off on this. So he had a cocktail of fucking shit in his body. No wonder why the man's heart fucking... They just called us, oh, his heart stopped. No wonder. Yeah. You look at the fucking slew. If I showed the list of things my father was on, nobody would be able to survive that.
No, I was... Like, when you were in hospital, you were a lot younger.
Right.
Well, I was in hospital as an adult. I spent quite a lot of time there. And one thing that I do notice, especially with the older generation, is the struggle of communication between the medical staff, the nurses, and the patient. And it is not intentional on anybody's part. But the doctors will come in and say, this needs to be done, this needs to be done, this is what's wrong with you, and you need to take this. Okay? And off they go, because they're busy. Now, you have a different system. This is our system. And the patient goes, hey, what was that? Cup of tea's ready. You know?
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah, what did that man say there, love? And the nurse comes over and goes, oh, you just have to take this wee pill. Is it the same pill I take here? Oh, yeah. And, the confusion just gets... And unfortunately, the system is the system, but yeah, you need to have somebody regularly visiting you in those places.
Yeah, like I'll give you a brief, like a short story about how like the medical system here is completely on the side of just lining the pockets of hospitals and doctors. So my son broke his arm in Tampa a couple years ago. They did X-rays at the clinic, then they take him to the OR. They do X-rays there, then they move them somewhere else, and they're like, okay, we need X-rays. And I'm like, why do you need X-rays again? You've taken X-rays twice in the span of 3 hours. Oh, we need it. I'm like, no, you just want to bill me again for more X-rays. Not happening. And like at the time, his mother was like, no, we're not doing X-rays again. But it's like, that's how it is. Like, even I got kidney stones recently, right? So kidney stones, medically insured, whatever. I already had gone through my deductible. Our deductible here in the States is you meet this cap of a number, you're good. Everything else is paid by the medical. And I had met my deductible already. So I start getting bills because I called 911 to have Palm Beach Fire Department or ambulance come. I couldn't drive. I couldn't get. If anybody's never had kidney stones, it's like debilitating. So I couldn't. I couldn't get to the hospital. So I was like, "Fuck it, just call 911." I'm
Like a permanent liver shot, isn't it?
huh?
Like a permanent shot to the liver. It's like that.
It's just
crippling.
continuous. You can't even speak, Ryan. You can't even talk.
Yeah.
It's like I was all right. So the few times I've had kidney stones like 6 times. The times prior, I was able to get myself to the hospital, right? Even though one of the last times I crawled, I literally crawled. I'm not making that. I crawled through the emergency room.
Yeah.
This time, I was asked I was on site at a client, and they were like, "Do you want us to call 911?" And I'm like, I couldn't communicate. I can't talk, and I keeled over, and they're like, "Call 911." They thought I was having a heart attack, so they call 911. So then I'm still getting bills from Palm Beach Fire,
So
like for 1,000. I get one, and I'm like, I paid another bill. Here's another one for $900 for the fentanyl. I'm like, that should be covered. And then you got to go fight your medical insurance.
it's so nice though, isn't it?
Oh, the fentanyl is short acting. Like so when they came,
Yeah.
right? So when they came, they go,
So nice.
they were gonna give you fentanyl. I was like, please don't. I'm like, give me morphine. You got morphine, give me morphine. They're like, no, we have the fentanyl that's fast acting, but it's short. It'll get you to the hospital, okay? And I'm arguing with the fire department, even though I can't speak. I'm like, no fentanyl. And they're like, no, it's not the street, cheap black market stuff. This is the, whatever. So finally, at some point, I couldn't communicate anymore, and they're like, all right, we're going to give you the fentanyl. And they gave it to me, and it literally just took away the pain until we got to, yeah, it's like all nice and warm, right? It's that tingly, nice, warm sensation. You're like, oh, you're like, okay,
Like being
huh?
like hugged and being held in an angel's wings.
The only way I can describe it is like a warm blanket being wrapped around you.
Yeah, it really is.
And then it wore off. It wore off when they got me into the emergency room, and they gave me Dilaudid. You know what Dilaudid is? Yeah, so they gave me Dilaudid, and that was like gone. Like I don't know what it is about Dilaudid. To me, that was way stronger than the fentanyl, and Dilaudid sent me into subspace.
Yeah, you sort of you're in and out because you're like awake, and then you have a little nap. But that nap, like, I was scrolling in my sleep and woke up and I was like, oh yeah, doing things like that. And then the next minute I was, good. Oh, hello. And you're having like more or less real life dreams and panicking and whatever else, holding onto the sides of your bed and the hallucinations.
I have videos on my phone that I don't remember recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, because again, we're in Boca, we have all the mamacitas.
Yeah, well, uploaded some of them. I saw some of them. I
Yeah,
think I
I
saw
had
some.
put them on my stories. Thank God I didn't put the other ones on. The other ones were like far
You'll
worse.
have to look up and see if you can bring them back
Oh my
and see what
God.
they're.
I was fully just having moments with the nurses walking in. Not some of them not so much, but the I have a thing for Latin women, so like they would walk in and I'm like, "Whoa."
No.
I'm like, "Snuff me out, goddess." And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, it's the ones I recorded were I have PG version of the other ones I have.
Yeah, at least you had Kyle coming in to see you then, keeping an eye on you when you were there, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah, I had a bunch of people come through. The one thing, like like my kid's mother brought my kids in, and I was like, please don't bring them here. Like, I don't want my kids to see me like this. Just fucking, like they saw me, like, hey, what's up? Yeah, daddy's fine. Yeah, yeah, okay, all right, go. Yeah, I didn't want my
You know,
kids.
well, whenever it gets to like week 3, and my mom's coming in every day, and I know that by the time she gets in, they're going to dose everybody up with their medication just before visiting hours, so we're all there nice and placid as people come in. For my mum to have travelled all that time, Mum, don't bother coming. We've got nothing to say, nothing's happened since yesterday, and I'm just going to be sitting there spaced out. So,
Yeah.
but you do need somebody coming in to check on you to make sure that what's being done is
I don't know.
what
I mean,
should be
like
done.
even for the kidney stones, like they bring you in, they subside the pain, they take your urine. Okay, you got to see a urologist, and they want you out. Like if it was some kind of blockage or like they said, there's one still in my bladder, but that's all like outpatient stuff that you can go see a urologist. Now, if it was much worse, then I would have been there much longer, and I would have had way more bills of medical trying to ding me on other stuff.
The fact that you marched on and kept on walking was what gave you the moniker that you never stop. Unlike
Yeah, no,
that's,
yeah.
that's what
There's a catch-22 to that. I think I'm a little too hard on people that get injured. Like, like just put some Robitussin on it. Like, like I'm a little too overly hard on people that I got a tummy ache and it's like what, like whatever. Like being empathetic to people's like
you can, you
physical.
can never you can never feel anybody else's pain.
Right. So it's just like I have to do better at doing, being better at that because everybody goes through their own stuff and feels pain differently. But,
And deals with it differently.
right. Yeah. I mean, I still have issues to this day. Thank God I had this last surgery because I couldn't like bend my knee at some days I would just, that's as most as I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, but it was just bone on bone, wasn't it?
No, no.
Bone,
What happens? The
bone on skin there.
No, the some of the hardware that they had put in the last surgery back in '99 was not supposed to stay in forever.
Yeah, I remember.
So it had to
Yeah.
come out, and I never took it out. And then,
It can't rust. It doesn't rust.
yeah, that's what I thought too. Like, like I saw the X-rays. I'm like, is this shit falling apart? And they're like, we don't know, but it was like dislodged, and there was wires hanging, and they're like, it's got to come out.
I know. I'm only supposed to get 15 years out of my bypass, out of my first bypass,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and my second bypass, because it was made. They wanted to put one in because of the sepsis that was more organic. It's
Right.
made, believe it or not, out of sheep's collagen. So whenever you
Really?
see all the sheep in the field out here, I'm part sheep. It's like, yeah, so they don't know how long this one will last. So
Interesting.
hopefully, I'm a bit of a test subject. So it's good in a way because I get scanned regularly and they keep their eye on it and just they want to monitor how it's doing. So,
That's good. You
but
still
no doubt,
doing jujitsu?
I am indeed. Yeah,
Sweet.
this is.
Wait, I remember the name North Coast Grappling, right? Is that it?
Oh, here we go.
There you go. See, I'm still subscribed to
North
their
Coast
YouTube
Grappling.
channel and their Instagram.
They put up a video yesterday. Um, I don't. Do you remember I was dieting down there for a competition in
I saw that.
October? Yeah. They've just put the blog up of that competition, so all the guys did really well, and it's a good group of people. It's good fun, but I'm coming up. It'll be 2 years. I'll be training now in January. I'm thinking down nearly 25 kgs or something.
Really? So what's the one thing you take away from jujitsu that helps you?
Um, oh, it's very good for the mind. It's very good at clearing the mind.
Mm.
If you've got any, like, this week's been a stressful week for me. Went in on Wednesday. Like, I've been jiu-jitsu twice this week. Went last night, and you're getting strangled, and you're actually thinking, okay. And then the guy, you only practicing, and you turn around to the guy and say, yeah, that was more like a neck crank. If you actually want to, if you go a bit lower, maybe try that, and then you're actually working out how to get yourself, so your mind is gone from anything outside of jiu-jitsu. You can't be thinking about anything else when you're getting strangled.
So it's like therapeutic.
It's very therapeutic, but it's incredibly good fun. Now, you look at any child, animal, kid, puppy, cat. That's what you do with your siblings.
Yeah.
As soon as you see your brother, do you or do you not still jump on him and go like
Yeah.
that and go, "Cat, shit"?
Yeah.
That's what you do. That's what people do.
I walk
And
up to every guy, every family member. I walk up and I start doing that, like and fucking just start going.
Yeah, so it's super good fun, and because it is a bit of a grind, and you're going to be in sore situations, and physically it's tough. It is a very tough thing to do physically, but if I can do it after 2 triple bypasses, an aneurysm, and being a fat slob, anybody can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, um, you just go in and you take your time. If you have to sit at the side, sit at the side. Nobody cares whether you get tapped, because it's not about winning. There is no winning in jiu-jitsu. Nobody ever wins. Everybody learns. And I know that sounds like some sort of Jedi bullshit type, but literally in 5 minutes you could have won and lost so many times that winning and losing becomes irrelevant.
Yeah,
you're
either winning or you're learning, and I think jujitsu is practical when it comes to like MMA. When it comes to being on the ground, that's when you win. But I think all the people I've spoken to that do jujitsu say the same thing. It's all about learning. It's therapeutic, and there's other elements that most of the people that do jujitsu have a background pedigree with when it comes to MMA, and they use jujitsu in that. But a lot of people that like the normal 9 to 5 people that I know that do jujitsu is like, dude, like this just helps me get through like the week, And I'm like, right on. I mean, if that's what it does for you, that's fantastic.
There's a community, and there's a lot of cliches about jiu-jitsu at the minute because it's a popular thing, but it's popular for a reason, because it's good fun. It's good for the mind because you have to think. Choking somebody isn't just putting your hand around the neck and pulling as hard as you can.
And there's proper ways of countering a lot of that you're taught.
And you have to choose your right moment to pick the counter. When the balance is just at that like tipping point that you can then go, oh, and you're on top. Oh, it's people describe it like this chess, and I think what's Joe Rogan's one, or problem solving with consequences or something like that.
Right.
But wiser people and more experienced people than me would give you better advice about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, no, that's
There's in nothing, absolutely
no,
nothing,
I
and
know.
I am shit. I get beaten up by teenagers constantly, and the girls, I don't even fight the girls because they're just too violent for me. At least the boys take it on the old man. The girls don't. The girls just go choke me.
It's probably some like deep-seated revenge that they probably go like, let's get this fucking guy.
Yeah, get the guy.
I was taking Krav Maga for a while. I don't know. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, but you're just making excuses for not doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. See, like I talked to my buddy Kevin, who's AKA Killer Cross from WWE. He's not too far from me, and he's like, just walk in. He's like, walk in. Not it doesn't have to be where he does it at Rudo's in downtown Orlando, but he's like, go to any other place and see. Because my biggest thing is like the range of mobility on your knees. Like I don't really have it. So, like, I don't know if that's an issue.
Not at all.
Really? Okay.
Not at all. Don't use your legs.
I'll just tell them I have the upper body, not the lower body.
Exactly. Exactly. You see, we went to university. We went to the University of Nova.
There you go.
We know.
Lastly, before we get off this, how do you feel about our politics, the way they've gone in the past day or so here?
I think common sense prevailed.
There you go. It was a ballot massacre. They just came out today with everything that he won the popular vote. He swing states. He won. A lot of this shit's never happened before, so it's shocking. Like even as I was a once Democrat to be now a Republican, it's like holy shit.
So was he.
Yeah. Back in this 80s and 90s, he was a Democrat.
Yeah, so was he.
Like...
No, and it's... people have just had enough. They've had enough of the lying.
Yes.
They know that what they're saying. And, not Biden. Obama did it. I think it was Obama. Or was it Clinton? I think it was Obama. And, what do you call them, did it for us. Whatever, politicians signed it in anyway. But... they signed in that they could propagandize to their own people out of wartime. Mm. And that basically just gave the veto, the go-ahead to lie. The
biggest one for me, and people don't understand this, was the censorship. Like, I'm such the advocate of free speech, no matter if it's good or bad. Knowledge is not knowing everything. It's the ability to challenge everything you think you know. And when somebody has an opposite opinion or a different view that argues or challenges your own, that's the only way you grow and learn as a human. And they want to censor it. Oh, we don't like it, we're censoring it. And that's, to me, I was like, you lost my fucking entire vote right there. I'm all about free speech.
Yeah, unfortunately it's something that was lost a long time ago over here. We don't.
Is that something that just based on what? Yeah, you can't. Okay, yeah.
Well, it's not that I can't. It's just there's not really It was one of those things that should have been voted on, but was never given the vote to the people. And the excuse made for it was similar to taking the guns away. It was a hysteria blown up over something of a story that then, what's the phrase? Make use of a good crisis. Right. What's the phrase I'm looking for?
You're making a mountain out of a molehill.
They used a crisis to their advantage.
Right.
So they used a story like there was a shooting, and they used that to get rid of the guns, and then pushed through a quick vote, and everybody went, yeah, okay. Like your school shootings that you have. Yeah. Every time there's a school shooting, they try and build it up, and the argument comes up again. Now we don't; those arguments have already been lost over here. There's a gentleman by the name of Enoch Burke in Ireland who's a teacher, and he is currently in jail, or he may have just got out of jail because he refused Now, I'm not sure which way it was to call the boy child the girl or the girl child the boy child.
Isn't that
Whichever
crazy?
way around. Yeah.
And he did time for
And
that.
there was no, literally, and, he cited that it was, done his religious reasons and whatever else. And, none of his beliefs were taken into it.
No.
But that's one case. There's people you get a knock on the door from the police if you say something that's too British.
Yeah, Stuart said the same thing to me when on the second episode he said you can get a knock on the door here for Facebook posts, if you say something against the Queen or anything along.
Scott, your old neighbourhood's worse.
I've heard.
Back in the day, when you were the Highlander, the Clan MacLeod,
Clan MacLeod,
crossing the hills of the north.
Highlander, one of the best films ever.
They're probably going to remake that with some shite in it.
They are. Henry Cavill's cast as Connor MacLeod.
Oh, there you go.
They've been trying to do the remake of Highlander for years. They had Dave Bautista as the Kurgan. That never went through, and then now they've greenlit the new Highlander with Henry Cavill. So we'll see. I don't know.
I can't even watch a film these days.
Why not?
I just can't get through it. What was the last good film you watched?
Probably Joker.
The first one?
The first one.
Probably the second one.
No, the second one I have not watched. I've heard all about it. But to me, this is what I say about films for me. I want you, as the filmmaker, to take me out of my world for whatever time the film is. I don't want to even know I'm there. I want it to be like that. Movie's done, and I walk and I look at something and go, that was I was blown away. There's a lot of cool movies like the Marvel movies that they put out, but even that's moving in towards a woke type of agenda. But I would have to say Joker was the last one. I'm a big Christopher Nolan fan, so I watched Oppenheimer, did not like it. I thought it was way too long. I make the joke now, I think the movie needed another hour to make it better.
The whole thing about that was also a bit of a political spin, wasn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
The talk about maybe again they just took advantage of the nuclear talk of war and stuff, and they thought this would be a good time to make it.
Yeah, there's only two scenes in the movie that I actually enjoyed, which was when he's talking to a group of people in a town hall and he's visualizing their faces being melted by the radiation. And at the very end, when you hear, you find out what he was talking to Einstein about, and you kind of see a vision of, he sees the future of what the world could go to with all the nukes being dropped. But besides that, I was like, that and he made another film called Tenet. Didn't like Tenet. Tenet was too much of a mindfuck. My favorite film from Christopher Nolan is Inception. I've always loved Inception. If it's besides Inception, it's probably The Last Samurai. I love The Last Samurai. Again, take me out, and a lot of it has to do with the score. I'm a big music buff, so take me out.
So yeah, that's 2010.
Yeah, Inception was 2011-ish, I think. Last Samurai was way back in 2005.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, you prove a point. I mean, other than Joker, I can't really Dune. The remake of Dune wasn't that bad, but it's not whoa, this is the best.
Some of these big movies that are supposed to be big action films at the minute, I can't even remember the names of them. Where he has to go and retrieve somebody from somewhere, or get a kid out of something, or do something. And honestly, I feel sick and dizzy by the end of it. I think you know how to make films and whatever. And, you see how it's put together, and it's shaky camera work, fast action, clip, over here, edit,
Michael Bay.
Music back. Yeah, here we go. Spin 360.
Two
Gang,
people,
gang.
Michael Bay, Jerry Bruckheimer. It's all about fast moving, explosions, moving fast cars again, explosions, and it's like I watched the last Bad Boys movie from Jerry Bruckheimer, and I was like, I'm getting a fucking headache watching this.
Awful.
You know, like a lot of the
I
movies,
mean,
I just wait till they come to streaming, you know, and I watch them, and I'm like, I think to myself, if I would have spent my money seeing this, I would have been really disappointed. And I say that a lot to myself, so it goes back to your point.
did you watch the last Beverly Hills Cop?
No.
Not bad.
Really? Axel Foley back at it?
Because it is Axel Foley back at it, and it is done in that cheesy 90s style.
I may have to watch it then.
You know, it's not done like a modern film.
You know what I get? I get a lot of people that will message me like, "You gotta watch this movie. You have to watch this movie." And I watch it, and I'm always like, "Nah, nah."
I can't even get through. I just can't even get through.
Like a maniac messaged me and said, "Watch Old Dads with Bill Burr, the comedian," and I thought that was hysterical. Like I thought just because it was somewhat dark racist humor, I was like, okay, that's my niche. So like I laughed. Yeah, like I laugh. Like, you know, everybody knows, like, that's my niche. So like I think to myself, nobody can go as dark as I can, but then like Bill Burr fucking, you know, does something, and why is there a bubble there? Oh, look at that. Thumbs. You saw that? A thumb went up?
Yeah, who's in with us? Somebody in here?
No. When I went like this, there it goes again. Look, watch. I don't know if yours does it. Look.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, that's weird. That's the first time that's ever done that.
I don't know.
Right on, Ryan. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you taking time to sit here with me for this episode, man.
Well, I'm slightly disappointed.
Why's that?
Because I wanted to beat Dale Chance, but once again, Dale came in third, and I got fourth.
Well, we'll do this again, man. We'll have you back on. We have some other guests lined up. So I want to get one where a lot of more people are involved.
Yeah, we're going to take down Dave Palumbo.
See, what theirs is like they talk over each other, like The View. It's like I try to, you know, steer this in a everybody gets to speak. It's challenging sometimes, but
yeah, I think that when there's multi people on, I think you need everybody with earphones in, don't you know, whatever. But
yeah, for sure.
that's just two people. It's not too bad.
Yeah, but I appreciate again, Mr. Ryan Bamford. Anybody doesn't know, go to Ryan's Instagram, Ryan Bamford's Life, and get a good morning this morning.
And you know what comes after that?
What's that?
Peace out, bye.
Bye. Thanks, Ryan.
Yes, you can! Just do it! If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up.